I'd like to have a conversation about truth and what that really means. So many people throw around the idea of truth, and I've contemplated this for a long time about what that really means. And I've come to the conclusion that we create our own truth. I mean, there's two levels going on here, I believe. There's the truth that we create for ourselves, and then there's the ultimate truth, the the universal truth of love, um, of heart connection, of true essence, of expansion. And then there's the truth that we create in our physical world. For example, if we believe that we are unworthy of love, or that the economy is this way, or we judge a certain person for being a certain way, or whatever it is, based on our conditioning, we create and continue to create versions of our own truth, so it feels true for us. But that doesn't mean it's absolute truth. And I believe there's an absolute truth of love. And that's the bottom line. And it's because of this absolute truth that everything else can be created, that our life can be created in a certain way, in a way that we want it to be created. So we can continue to believe in conspiracy theories and negativity and politics and fear. We can continue to believe in that. That's our right. That's our free will to think as we wish to think. And we continue to create our own truth along the way. We continue to create our energy within and our version of truth. For me, the reason I'm able to create my version is because of absolute truth. So, something to consider, I think, and important to continuously monitor what we think is true. Byron Katie has a great technique. I recommend her books in terms of questioning what we're thinking. And that is it true? Where are our thoughts coming from? So whatever, if we're suffering, for example, it's a great idea to rage it on paper and take each sentence at a time and question if it's true. And what's so beautiful about the process she recommends is that the first question is it true? And normally our ego will go, yeah, it's true. The economy's like this, or I'm like that. And then the second question is it absolutely true? And that's where it starts to become interesting. And that's where one starts to dismantle what we really believe to be true. Because when we, talk about, I'm going to say the economy, and if we ask ourselves, is it absolutely true if we're believing it's negative? It's never absolutely true. So there's more to the process, but the important thing is to question, especially when one is feeling lousy. I believe that when one is feeling lousy, like any feeling, there's a thought behind the process of the feeling, and there are certain assumptions that are being held because we're creating that feeling. So what we're doing is thinking in ways that are opposite of the absolute truth and of loving essence. So when we are feeling in a certain negative state, it's really good for us to question whether what we are thinking is true. So yeah, chew on that for a bit. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.